The international break is over, but the fallout is certainly not. And Chris Sutton has fallen out with England boss Gareth Southgate. He's not happy with the goalkeeping selections for the international squad, and he says that Southgate needs to get his backside to Ibrox and watch Rangers goalkeeper Jack Butland. Welcome back, guys, to the channel, Fog Football, and we are here to talk about Chris Sutton because he's been friendly to Rangers. It doesn't happen often, but he's certainly praising one Rangers player, at least, and that is the Rangers goalkeeper. The guy that should probably be in the England squad, arguably the guy that should be England #1, Jack Butland. So we've seen that Jack Butland, since moving to Rangers, hasn't been in the England squad at all. He was probably expected to get in this upcoming England squad. That didn't happen, though. And alongside Everton's Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale and Sam Johnson were picked instead. So I just don't really see how that's happening. I think Ramsdale and Pickford should probably be in the squad. Crystal Palace's Sam Johnson, not for me. I think that Butland should definitely be ahead of him. If you're not going to put Butland as the #1, that's one thing. But not picking Butland at all, I don't get that. I really do not get that. But keep in mind, Butland, if he didn't join Rangers, he would probably be the #1 for United right now. So, and then he probably would get picked because he's playing in the Premier League. So, it's weird. Does Butland have himself to blame? Did Butland need to realise by going to Scotland he was going to damage his chances of getting into the England team? I mean, potentially, but that doesn't matter to Chris Sutton. He thinks that Butland should be in it anyway, and this is what he says to the Daily Mail Sport about Jack Butland and the fact that he is not in the team. He says, quote, "Nothing against James Trafford, but I've seen plenty of him, and it's been a difficult season for him. Difficult season for Burnley. But I think you can look at his indecision from cross balls. You had to start the season. Watching him play out from the back with his feet is really excellent, but he's a guy who's lost confidence the longer the season has gone on, hence why even his manager at Burnley has realised that and made a change." And I don't think whether there's the usual anti-Scottish football agenda, but I think that Jack Butland is being overlooked. I'm really surprised at that. I think this season he's been a major part, one of the biggest parts of Rangers and their improvement under Philippe Clement. Also, when he's played in European football, he has been very, very assured. Of course, he has played for England before. With the injury situation with the goalkeepers at this moment in time, I think Gareth should get his backside up to Scotland and really watch Butland closely, because there's no way in my mind that James Trafford should be picked in a squad ahead of Jack Butland. End of quote. So I guess that James Trafford is being, I didn't even know that, but I guess James Trafford is also, he's replacing one of the England goalkeepers who was injured perhaps. So looks like Butland is even lower down the pecking order here. He's not even like 4th choice right now, which is kind of strange. I wonder where Jack Butland is. I mean, if you gave Gareth Southgate a list and you had to fill out the best goalkeepers, let's say from 1 to 10, I wonder how far down that list Jack Butland is. Obviously, he's not in his top 3. He hasn't picked them, but I wonder if he's 5th or 6th. I wonder if he's even in the top 10. I think it'd be interesting to know things like that, see how close someone actually is in terms of breaking in to a squad. Then, when pressed if Butland should be considered for the England squad because he's not playing in a top European league, Sutton responded to that as well. And he says, "No, I look at it like this. This is the way that Gareth should look at it. Who has been the better goalkeeper this season? Just based on this season, it's not even a competition. The pressure you get at Rangers or Celtic means it's not easy being a goalkeeper. Domestically, there are large periods of games where you're not involved, but when he has been called upon, he has been outstanding. It's a difficult place to play. I'm not saying that it has been easy for James Trafford at Burnley, but based on performance levels, it's not even a competition." End of quote. And I agree with that. As much as the Rangers and Celtic goalkeepers don't have much to do, it can be really difficult to basically just be a passenger, be a spectator in a game for like 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 75 minutes, and then maybe there's like one really good chance that the opposition team have it, and you are being forced upon to make that save when you've just kind of done nothing for the majority of the game. So sometimes it can be harder because you don't even have like let's say, a highlight reel of saves. I mean, it's like if you're playing for a team that, let's say, does concede a lot of shots, you're getting opportunities to make good saves and make yourself look good. But let's say for Jack Butland, if Rangers are playing at home, if they're playing at Ibrox, maybe they're only going to give up a couple of opportunities, and maybe the opposition is only going to get, let's say, one shot on target. And if Jack Butland doesn't make that save, then, it makes him look bad because he's only faced one shot on target and he's let it in. So sometimes when you're playing for the bigger teams, you do get judged more harshly, I think, because of the lesser amount of shots that you face. And obviously, if you do let them in, then it's making your save percentage rate go down. So that's kind of my opinion on that. I do think Jack Butland deserves to be in the team. Sutton also talked about his former teammate Alan Thompson and how he got a cap for England, and he says everybody knows what Alan is capable of doing. If they had looked at videos or watched Alan in Europe for Celtic for the last 10 games, including last season's UEFA Cup final, they would realise he could do it at that level. And they also went on to talk about Scottish football and how players get overlooked for playing in Scottish football, especially when it comes to England. I mean, I think players in Scottish football sometimes get overlooked for the Scotland national team. So if you're getting overlooked for the Scotland national team because you play in Scotland, you're obviously going to get overlooked for playing in if you're English playing in the Scotland Premier League. So definitely, 100%, I do agree with Chris Sutton here. It's unfortunate, but I just think that if you are playing in the Scottish Premiership, you're at a disadvantage, especially England. I just don't think you're realistically going to get into the start. I can't imagine. Just imagine a Euros or a World Cup where England are taken to the pitch and they've got a player in their starting 11 who plays in the Scottish Premiership. It just doesn't. It's hard to imagine. If it's going to happen in any position, I'd say the goalkeeping position is the one most likely for that to be true. But right now, Jack Butland's probably the only. I mean, Tavernier, for example. Look at Tav. Been great for Rangers. Won multiple trophies. The Rangers captain. The goal scoring record he's got is phenomenal. And he can't get a cap. But if he moved to a bigger team, then potentially maybe he would get a call-up if he went to a Premier League team or maybe even a Championship team or a top European league, and he was delivering the amount of goals and assists that he gets at Rangers, and he'd be more likely to get an opportunity. Maybe the same with Connor Goldson. Connor Goldson's never been called up. He's never been given a chance. Now, I'm not saying these players are England quality or that they should be in the England squad, but they've never been given an opportunity. They've never been even given a chance for a friendly, and it's totally because I think they play in the Scottish Premiership and not due to the fact that they aren't good enough to at least win a cap in a friendly game. So, yeah, I think if you play in Scotland and you're English, then you're pretty much saying goodbye to your international career. Anyway, that's what I think, guys. Let me know what you think down below. Been Fog Football. Looking forward to the return of the club football this week. So, yeah, only one more day, one more sleep, and then we have the SPFL action back. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.